She thought I'd keep paying for her lavish lifestyle until a $200 brunch bill turned into the most expensive lesson of her life that I used to think relationships were about compromise. Turns out, some people think compromise means you pay for everything and smile about it. Her name's Sabrina. Beautiful, confident, the kind of woman who always looked camera ready. When we met, she said she loved simple pleasures. I didn't realize that meant luxury brunches, weekend spa trips, and simple handbags that started at $800. At first, I didn't mind paying. I make decent money, I enjoy nice things. But slowly, it stopped being our lifestyle and became her entitlement. Every weekend, there was some celebration brunch. One for her promotion, which she didn't get, one for her friend's breakup, one because we survived Monday. Then came the $200 brunch. We sat down at a rooftop cafe she'd chosen. Mimosas, avocado toast that cost more than my week's groceries in college, and an influencer vibe crowd. The bill came. $198.75 before tip. I raised an eyebrow. Didn't you say we'd split it this time? She smirked, leaned back in her chair, and said the line that flipped a switch in my brain. You either accept it or don't. No anger, no guilt. Just that tone, as if she was testing me, waiting to see if I'd keep dancing to her tune. So I smiled. I accept it, I said. She thought I'd caved. She posted her plate to Instagram with the caption, "Date with my king clinking glasses," and tagged me. But when she left her card on the table, I paid with mine and quietly made a decision. That night, I logged into our shared accounts, the ones she insisted we have for transparency. I froze her card access, changed every password, and set up spending alerts she couldn't override. Then I watched as reality started catching up. A few days later, she texted, "Babe, my card's declining everywhere. WTF?" I replied, "That's weird. Maybe try a simple brunch this time." No response. Then, 3 weeks later, I got an invitation from a mutual friend, Sabrina's farewell tour party. Apparently, she was moving to Miami to start fresh, whatever that meant. The night of the party, I didn't go, but I sure heard what happened. Turns out, farewell tour wasn't just a name. It became literal when the police showed up mid-party. So, remember Sabrina's farewell tour party? It was supposed to be her big dramatic exit, glitter dress, rented penthouse suite, champagne fountains, and that same smug attitude she always wore when she thought she'd won. She invited everyone, her girls, a few of my friends, out of spite, I'm sure, and even tagged me in her story with a broken heart emoji and the song, "Since You've Been Gone." Yeah, real mature. But here's the twist. That penthouse she was flexing on social media wasn't paid for. See, when I froze the accounts, her favorite trick, using my backup card that was linked to our joint, stopped working. But she still tried to use it. Multiple times. For brunches, Uber Lux, and apparently, the entire penthouse reservation. The hotel called me 2 days before her farewell party, asking to verify a $6,200 charge. I told them the truth. That card isn't authorized for her use anymore. If she's planning an event, it's not with my money. They thanked me and said they'd handle it. So, on the night of her grand event, champagne flowing, selfies everywhere, loud music echoing off the 20th floor windows, the police and hotel management walked in mid-toast. Apparently, Sabrina had forgotten to update her payment method. Everyone watched as she tried to laugh it off. "Oh my God, there must be some mistake, my boyfriend." And the manager cut her off. "You mean ex-boyfriend?" Ouch. The video of her arguing with hotel security ended up all over TikTok. Hashtags like #FarewellFraudTour started trending locally. When I saw it, I won't lie, I poured myself a drink, leaned back on the couch, and just let out a small, satisfied laugh. I didn't post anything, didn't comment, didn't text her. I didn't have to. The internet did the job for me. But then, a week later, she showed up at my door. Makeup smudged, sunglasses hiding eyes that were definitely red. She said quietly, "I didn't deserve that." And I just looked at her for a moment and replied, "You're right. You deserved worse." Then I closed the door. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Because 2 days later, I got a call from a private number. And when I answered, the voice on the other end said, "Mr. Carter, we need to discuss a civil claim filed by Ms. Sabrina. Update 1.so yeah." Sabrina filed a lawsuit. Apparently, she was suing me for emotional distress, unlawful financial control, and, get this, public humiliation. Her lawyer claimed that my vindictive financial decisions caused her to suffer reputational harm. Translation: she went viral for all the wrong reasons, and now she wanted me to pay for it. At first, I laughed when I read the claim. But then I realized she was serious. She had somehow convinced a lawyer that I had manipulated her lifestyle and cut her off without warning. Which, if you didn't know the full story, sounded bad. But what she didn't expect was that I'd kept everything. Receipts, texts, voice notes, including one from her bragging to her friends. Even if he dumps me, he'll still pay for my rent. He owes me for putting up with his boring ass. My attorney, a quiet, sharp guy named Daniel, smiled when he heard that one. You know, this might actually be fun, he said. Court day came fast. Sabrina walked in dressed like she was going to a movie premiere, heels, full makeup, designer bag I probably paid for months ago. She wouldn't even look at me. Her lawyer started off strong, painting me as this controlling guy who used money to punish her. And for a while, I'll admit, he had the judge's attention. Until Daniel calmly stood up and said, Your Honor, we have some additional evidence. He connected his laptop to the courtroom display, and there it was, her TikTok. The farewell tour party. Her laughing with champagne, saying, When he cuts you off, but you still live like a queen. The room went silent. Then he pulled up screenshots of her texts about using my card for one last big night, and the email from the hotel confirming the declined charge. Her face turned pale. The judge sighed and said, Miss Coleman, do you have any evidence to support your claims of abuse or emotional distress caused by Mr. Carter? She mumbled something about privacy and social pressure. The judge replied, It seems your emotional distress was self-inflicted. Case dismissed. Her lawyer didn't even look at her when it was over. Daniel leaned toward me and whispered, That went better than expected. I thought that would be the end of it. But a few nights later, I got a text from an unknown number. Sabrina, I didn't mean for it to go this far. Can we at least talk? I didn't respond. An hour later, another message. You really think you won, huh? You'll see. And that's when things took an unexpected turn. Because 2 weeks later, I got a message from my landlord saying someone had accidentally reported damage to my apartment. When I came home, the front door had been slightly ajar. Inside, a smashed picture frame. And on my counter, her old phone case, the one with Queen Energy written on it. She had come back. And this time, it wasn't about money. Final update. The night I found her phone case on my counter, I didn't sleep. Not out of fear, out of disappointment. I'd spent years trying to build something real with Sabrina, and now she was breaking into my place like a stranger desperate for a reaction. The next morning, I filed a police report. The officer, a calm middle-aged guy, looked through the security footage from the hallway. Clear as day, Sabrina walking up to my door, looking around, keying in the old passcode, then freezing when the lock beeped red. She must have forced it after that. The officer sighed. You want to press charges? I hesitated. Part of me wanted to let it go, just walk away forever. But then I remembered her laughing with her friends, bragging about spending my money, about how she could always come back if she wanted. Yes, I said, I want to press charges. Within 48 hours, she was served with a restraining order and criminal trespass charge. I thought that'd be the end of it. But karma, apparently, wasn't done yet. A week later, one of her old friends, Emily, reached out to me on Instagram. She said Sabrina had been trying to get sympathy from everyone, claiming I was ruining her life, and that she was going to sue me again. Emily sent me screenshots of their group chat. Sabrina, he's just bitter I moved on. Emily, moved on with who? Sabrina, his co-worker. He doesn't know yet, winky face. Except, I did know. That co-worker? Jenna, a woman from my department who'd been cold to me for weeks, and now I understood why. So I printed those screenshots and quietly forwarded them to HR. Not out of revenge, but because I wasn't about to deal with more chaos at work. Turned out Jenna had been borrowing confidential data from my laptop when I left it open, sending it to Sabrina for leverage in her lawsuit. She was fired within 24 hours. Sabrina's new man? Gone, blocked, humiliated. 3 months passed. Life went back to normal. I'd sold the apartment, too many bad memories, and bought a small condo on the edge of town. Peaceful, quiet, full of light. One afternoon, I was out grabbing coffee when I heard a voice behind me. Ethan. It was her. Sabrina looked, nothing like the woman I used to know. Tired eyes, messy hair, cheap clothes. Her confidence, that sharp, polished arrogance, was gone. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Please." I nodded, mostly out of curiosity. She told me she'd lost her job, that her friends stopped talking to her, and that the lawsuit had drained her savings. "I just wanted to hurt you," she said quietly. "I didn't think it would all come back like this." I looked at her for a long moment and said, "That's the thing about fire, Sabrina. It doesn't care who started it. It burns everyone." She started crying, asking if we could start over. I smiled, gently, not cruelly, and said, "We already did, just not together." Then I paid for my coffee, wished her good luck, and walked out. That night, I sat on my balcony, watching the city lights flicker in the distance. I wasn't angry anymore. Not sad, just free. She had her lesson, and I had my peace. And the irony? A few months later, the bank notified me of an overdue charge attempt from Sabrina's old platinum card I'd canceled. $1, a test transaction. I took a screenshot, smiled, and sent it to Daniel, my lawyer. Me, looks like she still hasn't learned. Daniel, good thing lessons come with interest.